beautiful brown baby doll, and I'm coming today to talk about something that has been on my mind, something that you all have asked me to talk about, a disease that I have, Hidradenitis Suppurativa. This is usually quite difficult for me to talk about, and that's why I haven't really talked about it. But I'm finding that more and more women are reaching out to me, and men, because they're experiencing it. Hidradenitis is considered by some an autoimmune disease, or a disease where the body actually attacks itself. By others in medicine, it has been a debate as to whether or not to categorize it as an autoimmune disease, kind of where the body is not able to ventilate correctly, so it causes big cysts, usually ranging from the size of a pea to the size of a baseball, in different places in the body. If you have this, usually what you're going to see is that there's an increase in cysts under the arms, sometimes for women and men around the breast, and a lot of times down below, in between the legs to the groin area. But the thing about these cysts is they are full of liquids. You have to drain them. It gets to be crazy. Not only that, but they're very painful. I was first diagnosed with hidradenitis back in 2005, 2006. And that was a big cause for my weight loss. My doctor at the time told me that it would probably get better, and after doing research, it would probably get better the more weight that I lost. The more sebaceous glands are blocked, the more likely you are to have hidradenitis flares. I think I saw my first cysts when I was around 16 or 17. Now this makes a lot of sense because it's when I started to pick up weight, and they were occurring along my thigh area. And this is gross, but when these cysts would get really big, they would get really painful and they hurt really bad. And then what would happen is they would pretty much explode or open up. And what this does is it causes infections. So you can have a staph infection, you can get any kind of bacterial infection, whatever. And hidradenitis is not caused by being not clean. And let me get something straight. Hidradenitis is not caused by being overweight, but it can be exacerbated or it can be prolonged due to weight, and it can cause more flares. It is also caused by genetics, and it can also be caused by different items that you might use all over the body. So for instance, some people get a lot of cysts under their arms. It could be very much due to how your body is responding to the deodorant or whatever other chemical products you utilize. Also, what happens with this disorder is the pus and everything that drains from those cysts can often carry an odor. Now, I was pretty blessed to not have an odor, but a lot of people who have a lot of these cysts can carry a smell, and it has nothing to do with how they're taking care of themselves or how their personal hygiene is. It has a lot to do with just the disorder as a whole. And so if the pus is coming out or if you have any drainage, it can cause distinct odor. So I decided that I was going to try to cure mine on my own. Of course, whenever you have a disease, you never really get rid of it. It's always in the system. So even now, even as a thin person, every now and again, I can probably count about twice or 3 times in a year that I get a cyst. But usually what I would do back then, I would also take baths with antibacterial soap, which sometimes help if there's an increase in bacteria over the body. And I would also use hot packs or a towel where I would microwave it while it was wet and set it over the areas, allowing the glands to open up, and also allowing those sinus tracts within the cysts to drain. If they get very, very big, a lot of times you have to have surgery, or you have to have someone lance them or open them up to drain them. A lot of times people with hidradenitis are at the point where they can't even walk, or you don't want to be around people because you don't want them to know what's going on. I can also remember a time where, you know, with jeans, and like I said, when I was gaining that weight, I couldn't even really wear my clothes. I had to wear skirts because a lot of times my jeans were tight and they were causing the cysts to flare. Sometimes those cysts would erupt while I had on my clothes. And of course, where does it go? It goes through your clothing. So that was like really embarrassing for me.
Welcome to Beautiful Brown Baby Doll News. today's news won't be so long. However, I've been asked several times what type of scarring I've endured since having this disease. Well, since I don't get a lot of new cysts, I'm not getting new scars, but I had a lot of old scars, and those were under my arms and also along my legs and thighs. And I really thought even if I lost the weight, I still wouldn't have the ability to wear a swimming suit. But what I use is Mederma. I also use forms of shea butter, vitamin E, all of that on my body. Even if it doesn't look like it's making a difference, it does, because to date I have been able to wear swimming suits over the years and no one would ever know the difference. And remember, I've had this disease or been diagnosed since 2006, but I've started having cysts when I was about 16 years old. So it won't necessarily affect you horribly, and you will be able to see good effects from using different remedies. So don't get discouraged, keep on trying, and even if you have new cysts, just try to take care of them along the way and make sure that you're bandaging them up or doing the things necessary to make sure that they heal properly. And now back to your regular scheduled programming.
Since I lost weight, like I said, I never really see cysts at all, and they're not nearly as horrible as they once were when I was heavier. Treatments for the disorder, there's really not much treatment. I mean, because a lot of times people will pay a lot of money to get surgery on these things, and the surgery doesn't work, and the surgery is quite expensive. I tend to try to stay away from antibiotics because, especially in women, they cause other problems. You know what I'm talking about? They can also cause you to become immune to the antibiotics, and I don't want that to happen either. There are a lot of support groups out there. In fact, I used to belong to a Yahoo support group for hidradenitis where people would send out different things that were working for them. And it was really the weight loss for me that I saw a difference in the cyst and the difference in flares. This disease is debilitating. Like, sometimes I couldn't go to school. Sometimes I didn't want to go to work. Sometimes I didn't want to do what I knew was necessary because I was in pain. Honestly, the only thing that could help was either opening up the cyst or, sitting in a hot bath of water. You really didn't want to be walking where you were chafing, things like that. I'm hoping that there are some other things out there that come out that help people with this. A lot of times, young women and young men, they just don't know. Like, you don't have to be ashamed. You don't have to be embarrassed. It's a part of life. And no matter what size you are, you can have hidradenitis. And it does not feel good. It does not look good. And it altogether, it sucks. It is something that I can say that I've been able to live with. And you all see how active I am now. So, if you can do little things that'll help you, shaving cream, washes in the tub, hot packs, losing weight, those are the things that really helped me with this disorder. Watch the clothing that you choose to wear. You can't wear a lot of tight clothing because it might activate it. I love skirts and dresses because even though now I don't get them, I don't want the flares to come back. So I try to watch what I wear. I wear pants, but I try to make sure that they're, adequately fitted. I hope that this has been helpful. I hope that you all can find it in your hearts to share your experiences with others, because I noticed when I started to open up about this, I didn't know how many people out there really had this problem and this disease. And people need support. People need support. And this is a big part of everything. So from hair to weight loss, because this involves the hair follicles. It involves the sebaceous glands. It involves sweating, which are things that we as human beings do. So I hope that this has been helpful. If you have any stories, tell them below. Thanks for listening, guys. Beautiful brown baby doll. Peace.